from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. Ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Vinipurarachi.
And I'm Kasri Balachandra Adhikari. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Sri Lankan President was warmly welcomed at the Republic Hall in China. Chinese and Sri Lankan presidents hold bilateral talks. Several MOUs have been signed. Some areas in the island receive rain over 75 millimeters. Compensation for the crop damages by the floods will be paid from the end of this month. Vele Sudha, his wife and another woman have been sentenced to rigorous imprisonment. Impeached South Korean president has been arrested.
And we move on to those and other stories in detail. And in your top story tonight, the bilateral talks between President Anurakumar Dissanayake and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping was held this evening at the Chinese Republic Hall.
Chinese President Xi Jinping warmly welcomed the Sri Lankan president when he arrived at the Chinese Republic Hall. The welcome ceremony has been organized in a very grand manner with gun salutes.
Chong 陪同迪萨纳亚克访华的有外交、外国就业与旅游部长、银行部长等。迪萨纳亚克在习近平陪同下检阅中国人民解放军仪仗队。两国元首队分列式。迪萨纳亚克是应习近平邀请，对我国进行国事访问的。欢迎仪式后，习近平
After a mutual discussion between the two leaders, the bilateral talk started. At this discussion, Chinese President Xi Jinping stressed that China is ready to work mutually with Sri Lanka to achieve a new era of development. He recalled the long-term relationship between China and Sri Lanka as close friendly states. He added that China is willing to act cooperatively with Sri Lanka in future as well.
Thanking his Chinese counterpart, President Anurakumar Dissanayake said that Sri Lanka is very much happy about the huge progress achieved by the People's Republic of China in the field of economic, technical, industrial, infrastructural, facilities development and human development. He said that Sri Lankan government is always appearing for one China policy in all arenas, including bilateral and multilateral relations. He added that People's Republic of China has achieved a significant role for the socio-economic development of Sri Lanka during several decades. He also said that this tour will lead to further enhance the welfare of our countries and the people. The President said that he expects this cooperation between the two states to benefit for people in both countries.
After the official meeting of the two leaders, several memoranda of understanding relevant economic, social and industrial fields were signed. Ministers Vijitha Herath and Bimal Ratnayake were also present at this occasion. Minister Vijitha Herath said that a number of very important matters of economic, cultural and political relations were taken up for discussion. He said that in addition, following the bilateral talks, 15 MOUs between the two countries were signed. He added that these agreements are very important for the sectors of education, culture and media between the two countries. He also said that through them, Sri Lanka will have many benefits in future. He further said that Chinese President today assured that the Chinese government will continue its support to Sri Lanka.
China ආණ්ඩුවේ සහයෝගය අපට දිගටම ලබා දෙන බවට චීන ජනාධිපතිතුමා අද අපිට සහතික වුණා.
President Anurukumar Dissanayake today made floral tributes to the monument of the founder and the chairman of the People's Republic of China, Mao Zedong. The president also visited the exhibition hall that depicts the history of the Chinese Communist Party this morning. He visited the historic place of China Kong Mansion Museum as well. And meanwhile, the Meteorology Department says that many areas in the island may receive rains over 75 millimeters. Showers or thunder showers may occur at some places at night in the north central, eastern, over central, western and Sabaragama provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Sluice gates of all major reservoirs in the Polonnaruwa district have been opened at present. Two sluice gates of the Parakrama Samudra and all the two sluice gates of the Kaudula reservoir are open up to 1 feet. Sluice gates of the Benneru irrigational tank up to 2 feet. Sluice gates of the Giritile tank is being automatically opened, releasing the excess water to the Timberi Oya. People living close to either sides of the Timberi Oya have been informed to be vigilant. 8 sluice gates of the Rajangala reservoir have been opened, thereby a water flow of 9,000 cubic feet per second is released to the Kala Oya. Engineer in charge of the Angamu reservoir says that both sluice gates of the reservoir are open at present, releasing a water flow of 1,200 cubic feet per second to the Kala Oya. Mahakanadara River is now overflowing due to heavy rains experienced in the catchment areas. Our correspondent says that two sluice gates of the reservoir are open up to 1 feet at present. The road leading to Somavati's sacred premises has been closed since it is already inundated up to 2.5 feet. Irrigational tanks in the Vauna district have started overflowing at present. Our correspondent states that crops have also been damaged since the low-lying areas have gone underwater. All Hitia Ratkinda reservoir have been overflowing for 5 days. All the sluice gates of the Ratkinda reservoir have been opened and the excess water is released to the Old Hitia Oya. The officials of the charge of the reservoir informed the public living close to the banks of the Old Hitia Oya to be vigilant. Our correspondent says that all reservoirs in the Ampara district are full up to the brim due to heavy rains. Senanayaka Samudra in Irigiriagala is nearly spill level. Due to the bank erosion of the Gal Oya river, many smaller canals that take water to paddy fields have been damaged. An earth mound near the Diganatana bridge along the Bandarabana Valimana main road has fallen into the Diganatana Oya. Our correspondent says that one lane of the road has become risky due to this situation. Senior geologist Dr. Vasanta Senadhira says that month-level warning are still effective in Valimada, Passara, Haliala and Badula divisional secretariat areas in the Badula district and Ududumbara, Banda Ududumbara divisional secretariat areas in the Kandy district and Ridhigama divisional secretariat area in the Kurunegala district. He said that level 1 warning has also been issued to Rathata and Ukpala divisional secretariat areas in the Mathala district and Hanguranketa and Balapani divisional secretariat areas in the Nuvareli district. A building in Anwaram area in Mavanella is under threat of subsiding. Accordingly, officials of the Mavanella Disaster Management Unit have taken measures to evacuate the residents living close to the building.
Agricultural and Agrarian Insurance Board says that paying compensation to the farmers whose crops have been damaged by the floods occurred in last November will be paid before the end of this month. The compensation money will be credited to their accounts of the relevant farmers. Measures have been taken to release the compensation money for the districts where the checking of crop damages has been completed, accordingly. Chairman of the Agricultural and Agrarian Insurance Board, Pemasirija Singarichi, said that the compensations will be made for the farmers in the Polonnaruwa, Ampara, Trincomalee, Mullaitivu and Vavuniya before the end of this month. It has been planned to pay the compensation to Bilateral and other districts at the beginning of next month. The compensation money will be credited to the accounts of relevant farmers in order to prevent possible malpractices.
Colombo High Court today sentenced 8 years rigorous imprisonment to drug dealer Samantakumara alias Velisuda and his wife and another woman. Colombo High Court Judge Aditya Patabendige issued this verdict following a lengthy hearing of this case. The High Court decided that Velisuda and others are responsible for the allegations filed against them under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act regarding millions of properties earned by heroin smuggling. In addition to the prison's sentence, the respondents were imposed fines and the court ordered to confiscate all properties, money and jewellery earned in illegal manner. The lawyer appeared for the parliamentarian Archana Ramanathan today, requested the appeal court to grant permission to present limited objections to the petition filed before the appeal court to issue an order to declare Archana Ramanathan's parliamentary seat null and void. The relevant petition was summoned today before the appeal court Judge M. Gopalava. The petitioner is summoned on the 31st of this month. The Supreme Court today ordered to summon the fundamental rights petition filed against former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the 27th of this month. The petition has requested the Supreme Court to nullify the decision taken by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to pardon and acquit the army officer Sunil Ratnayaka, who was on a death sentence. The Colombo 3 judges High Court sentenced him to death regarding the killing of 8 civilians at Minisoville area in Jaffna. The petition was summoned today before the Supreme Court panel of judges comprised with Jasanta Kodagoda, Mahinda Samewardana and Arjuno Besekara.
The police states that additional accessories can be fixed on three-wheelers according to the Gazette notification issued in 2021. It is said that the police officers and three-wheeler drivers will be notified within the relevant legal framework in a time frame of 3 months. This decision was taken during a discussion held today at the police headquarters between the manufacturers of three-wheeler accessories and the Inspector General of Police. Deputy Inspector General Ruan Gunasekara said that three-wheelers can be equipped with additional accessories, but the capability is within a legal framework. He said that the law was introduced through a Gazette notification in 2021. He further expressed with an example that the side mirrors must be positioned in a way that they will bend backwards in the event of a collision. Additionally, he mentioned that it's necessary to install accessories in a manner where they do not compromise the balance of the three-wheeler. Furthermore, DIG Ruan Gunasekara expressed that these accessories must be installed in a way that they do not obstruct the driver's line of sight. He also mentioned that all other relevant limitations are outlined in the Gazette notification. They have discussed these matters in detail, and according to the provisions of the Gazette notification, additional accessories can be used as long as they comply with legal conditions. The purpose of this law is to ensure the safety of everyone. In the meantime, DIG Ruan Gunasekara said that the Inspector General of Police expects to further inform police officers and raise awareness regarding these legal limitations and regulations.
Following a discussion led by President Anurukumar Dissanayake regarding the congestion at the container terminal of the Colombo port, a series of decisions were made. Accordingly, actions have been taken to systematically release the containers. 234 containers have been cleared from the main port terminal as of today morning. Sri Lanka Customs reported that a total of 437 containers have been released after the clearance process. Thus, in the past 24 hours, the port and customs authorities have made significant progress in clearing a substantial number of containers that had been held up at the port.
The Committee of Public Finance has given its approval to reduce cess on cement. Accordingly, price of a 50 kilogram pack of cement will be reduced by 100 rupees. The COPF also has given its approval for a proposal to increase the allowance given to Aswasama beneficiaries. The COPF met today under the patronage of its chairman, parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva, at the parliament premises. The chairman said that the income received by the reduction of cess on cement should be directed to the relevant finance entities. Meanwhile, the ASVESUM allowance of 15,000 rupees has been increased up to 17,500 rupees. The government's decision to increase the other ASVESUM allowances has also been approved by the COPF.
The Standing Committee on Quality, Safety and Accreditation has been appointed to check the quality and standards of the non-governmental higher education institutes met today under the guidance of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Ambarasuriya at the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education. The committee met for the first time after the new members have been elected. Chairman of the committee is Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education. At his meeting, Prime Minister Dr. Ambarasuriya instructed the committee members to present proposals and recommendations relevant to take necessary policy decisions to enhance the quality of non-governmental higher educational institutes up to the level of government higher education institutes.
Yoon Suk-yeol has become South Korea's first sitting president to be arrested after investigations scaled barricades and cut through barbed wire to take him into custody. Yoon, aged 64, is being investigated on charges of insurrection for a failed martial law order on the 3rd of December that plunged the country into turmoil. He has also been impeached by Parliament and suspended, but will only be removed from office if the Constitutional Court upholds the impeachment. However, Yoon's dramatic arrest on Wednesday brings to an end a weeks-long standoff between investigators and his presidential security team. The country is currently being led by Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok as acting president. He was thrust into power after the first acting president, Han Duck-soo, was also impeached by Parliament, where the opposition has a sizable majority.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayantisa says that a series of in-house and short-term training programs will be organized for the provincial journalists to enhance their professional skills. The minister made these remarks at a discussion held at the Health Ministry premises today with the representatives of the Colombo Journalists Association. The minister further said that the problems of the provincial journalists will be identified and provided them with relevant facilities to work actively in the media profession. The Colombo Journalists Association handed over a letter with 11 requests for local provincial journalists to the minister at this discussion. The minister, with the help of the officials of the Ministry of Mass Media, looked into the problems of the provincial journalists at the same time. Then the minister instructed the officials to provide solutions for several matters immediately. The rest of the request will be addressed in future. The minister also instructed the officials to prepare a proper plan to set up an insurance scheme for provincial journalists.
The Sri Lanka Medical Association states that a new health policy is expected to be prepared this year, addressing existing shortcomings. The president of the association, Consultant Dr. Suranta Pereira, made these remarks while speaking at a media briefing held in Colombo today, held alongside the Clean Sri Lanka program. The new health policy is expected to be implemented under the theme Social Justice and Empowerment of the People Through the Life Cycle. To further advance the health sector in the country, a comprehensive document with contributions from consultant doctors has also been released under the title SLMA 2025 Roadmap. President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Consultant Dr. Suranta Pereira, said that the current standard of the food and the excessive sugar and salt content in food is a major topic of discussion today. He also said that high blood pressure, diabetes and cancer-related conditions that arise from these factors cause significant financial loss to the country, and a large portion of the budget is allocated to address these issues. Consultant Doctor further stated that the key point to overcome the issues is all about wellness and physical well-being. He said that the public awareness on this matter.
And meanwhile, farmers at the Valapita and Yagalagam areas in Uvaparanagam says that their maize crops have been again subjected to armyworm caterpillar threat. They request the relevant authorities to find an immediate solution for this problem. The armyworm caterpillar, which is considered as aggressive and quarantined first, causes the most of the crop damages as a larvae. The female caterpillar releases over 100 eggs at a time. These caterpillars place their eggs in the tender leaves of plants belong to the grain family. Accordingly, the damaged crops including maize, sugarcane, paddy, vegetables, fruits and many crops are leguminaceae family. Farmers in Nuvaparanagama says that although their crops were safe from the fizz during the past period, it has spread again at present, causing heavy damages to their crops. They have become helpless since the expected harvest cannot be gathered. The agrarian service officials of the area say that the information in this connection is being gathered and the farmers are being educated on the methods of curbing this caterpillar.
And here's a few more local news items in brief. The Ministry of Buddhist Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs says that the photos circulating in social media that Sigire Fortress has been illuminated at night are fake. The ministry stresses that no decision has been taken to keep Sigire open for tourists at night. Minister Engineer Kumar Jayakudi says measures will be taken to earn a huge foreign income from Trincomalee fuel tank complex in pursuant to new government's power and energy policy and program. The minister made these remarks joining an inspection visit at the fuel tank premises in the Trincomalee harbour. The minister also inspected the Petroleum Corporation, Trinco Petroleum Terminal and Lanka IOC located in this premises. Opposition leader Sarjit Premadasa and parliamentarian L.M. Abhay Vikrama were elected as co-chairman of the Parliament Guild on Climate of Sri Lanka. The first meeting of the Guild for the 10th Parliament was held recently. At the meeting, parliamentarians Nalin Bandara and Hasithani Roshaneguravatta have been elected as deputy chairman of the Guild. Parliamentarians Rohini Kaviratna and Anushka Tilakaratna have been elected as conveners. Professor Attorney Pradeep Kumara has been appointed as the new Director General of the Department of Coast Conservation. He is also Professor of Marine Geology at the Marine Geology Faculty of the University of Ruhuna. Professor Attorney Pradeep Kumara is also a well-versed person in the sector with practical and theoretical knowledge. Two unidentified gunmen have shot a house in Abugoda in Donangoda Police Division. According to police, the gunmen had come in a motorcycle and no one has been injured by the gunfire. The Navy has seized a stock of 864 kilograms of kendo leaves that was attempted to be brought to the country illegally. The Navy personnel discovered them at a search operation conducted at the Nigambu Lagoon, and stocks of these leaves were concealed in two abandoned dinghy boats. Foreign news on the other side of this break.
சோழ நாட்டை உடைக்கவா கட்டளை?
பெற்ற தாயின் ஒரு மார்பை வெட்டி எடுத்துக் கொள் என்கிறீர்கள்.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
हम ये मिशन साथ में कर सकते हैं. So are you in or are you out?
சினேத்ரா திரைப்பார்வை சனிக்கிழமை காலை 9 மணிக்கு நேத்ரா டிவியில்.
Welcome back with international stories. And Southern California is facing extremely critical fire conditions caused by Santa Ana winds today as the fight of the contained enormous Palisades fire and 4 smaller blazes continues. It was reported that winds were weaker than expected yesterday but called pick up again today. The wildfires have so far killed at least 24 people and swept through 40,000 acres in the greater Los Angeles area, destroying entire communities and more than 12,300 structures. The Palisades fire has burned more than 23,000 acres and was only 18% contained early today as it threatened Brentwood, Encino and Westwood. Evacuation orders are in effect for 88,000 residents of Los Angeles and 89,000 are in evacuation warning zones. Los Angeles County has declared a public health emergency, warning that smoke and particulate matter could pose immediate and long-term threats.
Meanwhile, the White House has confirmed that the United States will remove Cuba from its list of state sponsors of terrorism as a part of a deal that will see some of the island's political prisoners freed. Previewing what will be one of the final acts of the outgoing Biden administration, senior U.S. officials said that Cuba will release many dozens from jail before Donald Trump's inauguration on Monday. In an agreement negotiated with the help of the Catholic Church, the U.S. will also ease certain economic pressures on Cuba. However, its decades-long trade embargo against the island is reported to be continued. The White House press secretary Karine said in a statement that the U.S. president has decided to lift Cuba's terrorism designation after reflecting on the wisdom and counsel that has been provided to him by many world leaders, especially in Latin America.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
Welcome back with your sports update. The match between NCC and Tamil Union teams in the Interleague 3-day cricket tournament ended up in a draw. The tournament has been organised by the Sri Lanka Cricket. The match between NCC and Tamil Union teams was played at the Pizarra Oval Grounds at Colombo. Batting first, NCC team scored 283 runs in the first innings. Roshan Dikwala scored 108 runs. Tamil Union team scored 262 runs in the first innings. The match ended in a draw while the NCC team has scored 181 runs for 7 wickets in their second innings. The match between Nugagoda Sports Club and the CCC team under the tournament played at the CCC grounds also ended in a draw. Batting first, Nugagoda Sports Club scored 316 runs in the first innings. Avish Kapera scored 106 runs. Balanji De Silva claimed 4 wickets. In reply, CCC team scored 434 runs with a loss of 7 wickets in the first innings. Lasit Krupsul scored 550 runs and Senal Dinusha scored 107 runs. The match also ended in a draw. That's it on Tonight News. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing with Kasuni. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.